Hello, folks. I'm Tommy NC2010 live here from Western North Carolina. It's an awesome show tonight. I have the one and only CEO of NCW here, Norton Lewis, the most electrifying show here in Western North Carolina. How are you doing there, Mr. Lewis?
I'm doing great, Tommy. I'm really glad to be on the air with you tonight.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Lewis, where did you get the inspiration to have such an amazing product here in the wrestling circuit?
Well, I've been in the wrestling business for over 30 years and started out as a wrestler, in-ring performer, and went through, several years of doing that. Eventually got the idea that I wanted to actually promote my own shows, and I've done that off and on for about the last 15, 16 years, something like that. And due to a very bad injury, I actually had to shut down for a couple of years. And then my partner, Casey Leann, she bought part of the company out from me, and we kicked back off December last year, and it's been wide open ever since.
Okay. Now, do you create your own characters, or do you guys? What goes into the ideas of creating these characters?
Well, we don't create anybody's character, actually. I mean, these guys come to us as who they are, and it's up to us to be able to promote them and put them in the right situation to where they can actually draw people to come and watch them wrestle, to be able to entertain the fans as it is, and to actually get their name out there and maybe eventually move on to the next level.
Okay. Now, where exactly do you if anybody was like in Western North Carolina, where could somebody go typically to watch an NCW off dark match, as they call them? Because I know, isn't that what you would say, that your brand of wrestling is, dark matches?
Well, we do some videotaping and things like that. We haven't done TV in quite a while, but we do stream some of it occasionally also. Excuse me. But it's interesting that you say that, because next Saturday night on the 8th, we will be right back in Fairview, North Carolina for our next event, which is entitled Evil Deeds, with 6 huge matches, Halloween costume contest for children and adults, and it's a great night of entertainment. Everybody that's in the area should come out and check it out.
That's very awesome. If I get a chance, now that's on a Saturday, am I right?
Yes, sir. Saturday night, doors open at 7, bell time's 8 o'clock.
Now, how much it is to get in? Like $20, you say?
$10 for adults. Children between the ages of 7 and 15, or I believe it is, or $5 under. Excuse me. I think it's maybe 5 to 16. I can't remember exactly. Kind of caught me off guard there. It's actually on the poster that's on our NCW Facebook page there.
Yeah, it's in the description below, folks. You can check out their Facebook. It's in the description below, and see all the awesome stuff and pictures that they post.
Yeah, we keep it updated pretty regularly, and we also post a lot on our event pages on Facebook. Every event that's coming up, where they can see the posters and the matches that are coming up. Next Saturday night, we actually have a huge double company heavyweight title match in the main event. So it should be something a lot of people would be interested in seeing. If anybody's around the Fairview area, they know about us. They know about a company called TCW, which is owned by a friend of mine, Tim Toller. And next Saturday night, his heavyweight champion, Chris Fix, is going to face our heavyweight champion, Revolution, in a winner-takes-all match in the main event.
Wow. That was another question I was wanting to ask you. Kind of like an idea for a show idea, NCW versus TCW, and like to see who the best off-circuit wrestling program is, and at the end of it, somehow maybe combining it together, becoming the most electrifying wrestling show. Would you ever consider a storyline like that?
Well, that's kind of a hard thing to do, because we all do have different talent, and and run different locations at different times. We've been running events there in Fairview since I believe February of this year, and
So you guys travel around a lot, am I right?
yes, I mean we are, and we're going to get back to doing a lot more of it than we've been doing lately, with actually doing events throughout North Carolina and South Carolina. Come first of the year, actually go back to do running a lot more in South Carolina also.
Now I have a question for you. Would you ever be interested in having me on the card sometime as a celebrity guest?
As a celebrity guest, yeah. Who knows? You might be the next Pete Rose, or who knows, the San Diego Chicken. I don't know. You never know.
Oh my gosh, yes. By the way, yes, this is the gentleman that I was in the ring with when we were advertising the new United States Championship belt. And which gentleman won the belt that night? I don't know if I filmed that match that night.
Actually, what it is, it's called the American Heavyweight Title, and that night was a preliminary match. Believe between Ben Wright and Callie Cannon, I believe, and Ben won that match. Now, next month he's going to face the winner of this coming match at Evil Deeds, which is TJ Boss, and wow, you asked me these questions I can't even remember now. TJ Boss and wow, I wish I could remember. I don't have the poster in front of me at this time, but the winner of that match will face Ben Wright in November to become the new American Heavyweight Champion. A lot of people have told me that they think TJ Boss is going to win the whole thing. Ben Wright's pretty talented, though. Just to be honest with you, I could see either one of those guys walking away with it. There's a lot of big matches coming up on the 8th also, because like I said, not only do we have the heavyweight title match, JC Diaz has returned to NCW and is going to be facing our cruiserweight champion Jamie Lee, which is, I mean, unbelievable, an unbelievable talent. Our former champion Shane Hexon will be tagging with his old tag team partner Callie Cannon to face Caleb Crocker and Dustin Effin Knight in a tag team match there. It's going to be a great night of entertainment. Like I said, you can see TJ Boss. He's the suntan Superman, as they call him. It's going to be a lot of great talent on the event.
You know who are my favorite? I think you guys share two wrestlers with TCW because there is Squirrel and
Stumpy.
They come out. Get now go. Get now be some now go. Let me now go.
Yeah. One of those is Stumpy Grimmett. That's probably the guy you're talking about.
Tall guy, slender, kind of like gangly kind of guy.
That's him. He's actually going to be in a body bag match next Saturday night against Damian Legion with his valet Envy. That should be a very interesting match, just to be honest with you.
Is he still champion? Because last time I spoke to him, he was holding the tag team championship.
Stumpy is one half of the NCW tag team champions, along with Mike Miller. Mike will not be on this event due to previous engagement that he's not going to be able to be there. But it's very good tag team champions. Very popular with the crowd. Everybody loves them. Everybody just loves them to death. When that Cotton Eye Joe starts, the place goes crazy.
Oh my gosh. If I get the chance, and I'll see how my schedule looks like, I will do my best to grab somebody and go out to the event you're talking about, and I'll see what I'm doing on that day exactly. Okay. And we will try to come out and see you guys. And if any of you fans of Tommy, any of you Tommy heads want to come to that event, if I'm there, I will sign autographs, give pictures, and it's going to be, and you can sit down. Awesome event. It's some of the most amazing, electrifying. These gentlemen are not exactly the biggest superstars in the world. They are They work their hardest. They're not a part of WWE, but they are a part of a wrestling circuit called NCW here in Western North Carolina, and they work their hardest to put on the best show, and they come back and forth, and they do what they can. Am I right, Sir?
Yeah, you are correct. NCW is an independent wrestling company. If many people that don't understand the wrestling business, there are thousands of independent wrestling companies throughout the United States. We all have different talent that we use, and guys, that's typically where guys start, is in the independents. They move from there to hopefully wind up at a chance to maybe work at TNA when it was in its heyday, or Ring of Honor, maybe move on to NXT, and eventually go to WWE. That's most of them's dream. Some guys, they don't want that, though. Believe it or not, there's guys out there that love doing what they do for the smaller crowds, for the 200 and 300 people instead of the 2,000 and 3,000 or 30,000, because they like to be closer to the fans and have a more ability to actually interact with them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because WWE, you could build some guys actually build their characters, and they over the time they build up their characters to be, well, and then they walk into a company like WWE, and then you have a big boss like Vince McMahon that says, well, I'm sorry, you may have wrestled this long for this character, but you're not going to be that character. We're going to slap and call you Fanscracho,
Yeah, that happens a lot. I mean, it's not too many guys get to go in and have everything laid out for them when they get there, because not too many guys have the advantage of an AJ Styles, to do what he did, leaving TNA and going to Japan, and working briefly for Ring of Honor and doing independent shows, and and then be able to walk out at WrestleMania as AJ Styles. Because you're right, a lot of times they would have changed him and he would have been some totally different character. But in today's industry, though, the fans know better. I mean, they know this is AJ Styles. You can call him Joe Blow if you want to, but he's still AJ Styles, and the fans know that. So because he's very visible throughout the entire world. So it really wouldn't make sense to revamp that person. But a lot of guys that come up through the independents, like you're talking about, that is what happens. They wind up getting to NXT. They get totally redone, new name, new everything, new gear, new look, whatever it takes, before they ever get a chance to actually move up to the main roster.
Okay. Now, what is the plans for? Is there any big plans for NCW, or is it just currently right now where it is?
Well, we've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I really can't talk about right now, because not a lot of it you have to kind of keep hush hush, because you do have a lot of competition out there that would love to steal your thunder, as it might be, and even though we're all competitive with each other, a lot of the independent companies are very friendly most of the time. Most of us all know each other, and and actually get along really well. There may be some hiccups here every now and then, but for the most part, we all kind of try to keep everybody in suspense as to what our next movie is.
Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about? Now, this is a curious question. Have you ever thought about not having unmonetized music for your wrestlers, and looking around for different things that are like camera friendly, so when people are filming that they won't get a flag or anything like that because that song is monetized? Have you ever thought about that, or do you like using monetized music?
Well, we're actually talking to a group right now about actually doing some original music for some of our guys and for an NCW intro. So that is something that we're interested in and been looking into, definitely. It's just some of the guys, especially on the independent circuit, you see a lot of that because it's music that people recognize, and these guys aren't on television every Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, whatever the dates are. So
Monday and Tuesday now from WWE.
Yeah. So people recognize this song, and it begins to tie into the character. Just like you were talking earlier with Stumpy and Mike, everybody knows when they hear that Cotton Eye Joe who that is coming through that curtain,
Oh yeah.
and they all get excited about it. Same thing with Crucifix. It's the same thing with with Revolution. When they hear the Beatles, they know that's him. I mean, it's just that's what happens a lot of times, and I do
Yeah.
know that does cause some copyright issues probably here and there every now and then on certain things that are filmed might get flagged and stuff. So.
Yes. Now, also, if you want to ask me any questions, you're welcome to. This is just an open segment, or if you want to talk about wrestling, this is an open format part of the show. We can go back and forth and talk about wrestling, and if you have any questions.
Okay. Well, answer me this question. Then. I'm going to interview you a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So, how long have you been a wrestling fan?
I was a wrestling fan. I started it's hard to say. It was mid 2000s because I moved up here in 2004. I moved up here around 2004, 2005. I became a wrestling fan because my friend actually was into wrestling. Ashley,
Okay.
as you know, it came with me to the wrestling man. She told me about wrestling, and I was like, huh. And she started slowly getting me into wrestling, and from that point on, I kept saying I was a spectator. And then around 2010 or that time, I came out and finally made it. Please don't diminish me because I had heard a lot of rumors about people diminishing wrestling fans, and I was like, okay, please don't diminish me. I'm here on Facebook saying I am a wrestling fan. Please do not shun me for me being a wrestling fan, because I was really nervous for me to come out and say I was a wrestling fan.
Well, I mean, I've been to events where there's doctors and lawyers sitting in the audience, so it really doesn't matter. And now I got a talk show host, actually sitting in our audience. So I think that's great. I mean, the people of every walk like wrestling. Now, it's not for everybody. There's people that'll tell you they don't like wrestling. They prefer to watch MMA or football or whatever. I watch a lot of different kind of sports myself, but it's a lot of different kind of people out there that enjoy watching wrestling. You would not believe the total number of people that on a weekly basis show up at independent wrestling events throughout the United States. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are watching them each and every week at some National Guard armory, some community building, some small town or civic center, a lot of that, and that's where they get to see the grassroots of the business and watch people work their way up. And we've got a lot of talent on our roster, just as TCW and some of the other companies do also. And our ownership has a lot of experience. Like I said, I've been in the business since I was 16 years old when I first started. KC, as recently as 2011, was the female independent wrestler of the year in the state of North Carolina. So, we know what we're doing. We have a lot of fun with it. We do it because we love it, and we just like to see the fans get entertained.
Okay. Now let me think here. What is the best wrestling show night you've ever had, that you've had a complete sold out house and that it was one of the best seat nights and wrestling matches? What was, in your opinion, what was the best night that you guys ever had?
Wow. That's kind of a hard question to answer, just to be honest with you, because we've had some very good events. Here not too long ago, and I even say in the last few months, it just seems like every event has gotten better as the fan following there in Western North Carolina has gotten larger. And like I said, I ran for about 5 years continuously in the same location in Greenville, South Carolina. And, just that's a really hard question to answer, because I've been involved with a lot of different wrestling shows, events. Very, very hard question to answer, Tom. Good question, but a hard one to answer. I really don't have an answer for you on that. I would just like to say there's been tons of them, and I do mean tons of them.
Wow. Now, have you ever thought about coming out to Black Mountain near the Swannanoa area and doing an NCW event?
You know, I heard a funny thing about Swannanoa earlier today, and I would be interested in probably checking out the Black Mountain Swannanoa area. We just have to find a location there that would work for us, actually.
There's actually a place that it's also near Lake Tomahawk. They have an event place there, and I don't know if you could actually set a ring up inside there, or if you did an outdoors event. Or also, Owen High School has a auditorium. If you wanted to talk to them about renting out their auditorium or something like that, or using their gymnasium. I think there's like a few places here in Black Mountain and Swannanoa that you possibly could use for the NCW event.
Oh, we definitely look into that. If we thought there was a fan following there in Swannanoa and that Black Mountain area, we definitely bring an event there for the fans to come and watch.
Yeah, because every time when I'm walking around town here in Black Mountain, I happen to see your signs posted up in the main galleyways at the grocery store sometimes. Or if I'm at the White Horse, I'll see your sign. I'm thinking there most definitely has to be an audience out here, because if you guys are coming all the way out here, there must be an audience out here, because you guys are advertising all the way out here in Black Mountain.
Yeah, there definitely is. We've had lots of fans that have came from the Black Mountain area to actually come to our events there in Fairview. So yeah, definitely. And it may be something we need to look further into, as time goes by.
Yeah, I would truly love that. And also, yes, I that wouldn't hold me back from coming to an NCW show. I'll go if anybody tells me I can get a ride out to where you guys are. I will definitely come to an NCW match.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yes. And let me think. Any other questions you have?
No, I think we pretty much covered most of it.
All right. Let me think here. Who is now? Okay, this is probably an off topic. Who is your all-time favorite wrestler from either companies of WWE or WCW, or as TNA? Who was your favorite wrestler?
Well, I'm more old school than TNA or ECW or anything like that. I go way back to the NWA days, and of course, all of us grew up watching Ric Flair when in his prime.
Woo!
And I loved Ric Flair. I mean, I really did. When I got into the business, one of the guys that I emulated and studied everything he did. But it's funny to say that. I guess you would say his direct opposite, his nemesis, as Dusty Rhodes would say, if you will, was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And that was always my favorite wrestler when I was growing up, and even when I first got into the business. I was a huge fan of Ricky Steamboat.
I had to say my two favorite wrestlers from old school would be Undertaker and Sting.
Well, see, that's not even really old school, but I understand what you're saying. That's old school to you. But Undertaker is definitely a throwback to the days of old school, definitely. So,
what do you think about this as a main card event? WrestleMania, Undertaker versus Sting, and it's horrible because the streak is gone now. They gave it to Brock Lesnar, and because Taker broke his leg in that match. You do know that during that Lesnar and Taker match, Taker broke his leg.
Well, in their prime, that would have been a great match with the Undertaker versus Sting in their prime. Of course, we all know that that's never going to happen. But yeah, that would have been a great main event at WrestleMania or any other pay-per-view, actually. Because at one time, Sting or Steve Borden, whatever you want to call him, was one of the top guys in the entire industry, and no doubt what the Undertaker has done for the wrestling business, no doubt at all.
Yes, he's definitely a man that has come back come and gone. And one thing in consistency is with that man is he is stuck with the same character since he came out in the back of the day.
Yes, definitely. I mean, he's now he did have a few transitions early, but once he became the Undertaker, he has been the Undertaker for 20 something years now.
Did you know he had a dark match? He came out as Kane, you know that? The first time he came out in a dark match, he was actually known as Kane. And then when he had his debut, they called him the Undertaker.
Yes, he did. That is true. He was originally they did call him Kane, and later on that's when the idea came for the brother angle to actually have his brother being Kane.
Yeah. Now, have you ever thought about for NCW trying to? I know that probably very expensive to do. Have you ever thought about reaching out to some of these big name WWE wrestlers and having them come out and have it? Because I see you had a former wrestler from WCW known as the Barbarian. Did you see where I smacked him on the chest?
Yeah, I did. But you know, and we've used a lot of those guys at times. Those are what in the business we refer to as people use the inside language, call them names. And you know, at times it's good to use them, but at times it's better just to keep growing your own talent and just keep putting out the best product that you can there. And you'd be surprised how well you do with that. You don't always have to have those guys to fill up the seats. Trust me, you know. And there's a lot of guys that are out there right now that you know, since you mentioned that about reaching out to WWE talent and stuff, most of those guys are under contract and they can't go do certain things. So you're going to be using guys that are basically you know not under contract anymore. You know, that are all basically independent contractors. You know, to actually be able to go out and wrestle wherever they want to.
What would you ever do if, like, say somebody like if because I'm friends with Mickey Foley. You know who Mickey Foley is? That's the son of Mick Foley.
Okay.
He's actually a fan of mine. He watches my product. What would you ever do if I walked into NCW with Mickey Foley and Mick Foley behind me?
Well, that would be interesting, I'm sure.
You'd probably drop a brick, am I right?
No, I've met Mick on many occasions. So
really?
Wouldn't be the first time. Yes, sir.
Wow. So you've worked with him, have you, or you just met him?
In the past, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrestled and traveled through many top organizations in the past.
Wow. So you've met a few wrestlers in the past during your wrestling career.
Oh yes, yeah.
What was that injury that you sustained that you had to stop wrestling?
Full time for almost 15 years, so definitely yes. I broke my ankle completely loose from my leg a couple of years ago.
Ooh.
Went through about 7 surgeries. I have a titanium rod, some plates and screws in my legs. You know, the chances of seeing me back in the ring wrestling probably pretty darn slim, just to be honest with you. You know, don't see that happening, just to be quite honest with you. But I still get to do what I love doing, which is entertaining people, putting the right kind of talent out there for people to come and watch and be entertained, and just keep doing what we love.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. And it's been an honor having you here. And thank you so much, everybody. You can check out NCW and the link description below. And if you're ever here in Western North Carolina, come check out an NCW wrestling match. It's really good stuff.
Please do that. Come out and as a matter of fact, October the 8th, 8 p.m. At the Fairview Community Center, right there in Fairview, North Carolina. 6 exciting matches. For $10, you won't find anything else more entertaining. I promise you.
Yes,
I promise you that.
I guarantee you, that's the bottom line. And if I can find a ride out there on that Saturday, Tommy Heads, you should come out and I'll meet up with some of the fans and give autographs. and we'll enjoy an awesome episode of an awesome wrestling match of NCW. And I guarantee I'll try my best to get out there. And if any of you want to come out there, I'll definitely meet up with you guys, and it's going to be an awesome time. Thank you so much, and thank you so much. So I'm going to end off the show here. As always, I'm Tommy NC 2010. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Tommy Talks, and I'm keeping you on the inside fact. Subscribe, support, stay positive. Catch you later, folks.